All right, good Thursday afternoon. Hope everyone has had a great first half of your day. We're talking a lot about the tropics right now and also the heat. That is our biggest concern, especially across northern counties this afternoon, as it's really warm, but it's also very, very muggy out there. So here's a look at the big picture. We are still tracking this very disorganized area of low pressure that is just south of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It is moving closer to the Louisiana coast. It's pushing westward quite slow, but we do still expect some pretty low chances that this will become a officially named storm or tropical depression, tropical storm. Because it is just so weak, it's struggled to really ramp up, and that's good news for all of us, everyone across the Deep South, especially some of our coastal areas. Now, across the region, we are fairly dry in central and south Mississippi, but I do want to zoom in to show you what's going on for friends down south, closer to the Louisiana coast, around New Orleans, and even for some areas closer to Pier Part and Thibodaux. They picked up a good bit of rainfall over the last 24 hours. Some folks closer to 8 inches of rain now near Baton Rouge, some lower totals, but around the Mississippi Gulf Coast, we also saw close to 8 inches or several inches of rainfall over the last 24 hours. I did have a graphic in here for the noon show, but I don't have it, so I'll have to give y'all an official number here online in just a little bit. But regardless, coastal areas have picked up a lot more rain than we have, and we were expecting that as well. With this system being very weak, it could spin some heavier pockets of rain in our direction. Overall, though, we're just seeing some scattered storms across the region, and you can see it right now as we look. Dry in the metro, but a few spotty showers and storms off to our west, closer to the river, and back west, just west of the Mississippi River as well. A cluster of storms near Natchez and Woodville, also in the Pine Belt where we've seen the best coverage of rain. But if you're getting rain, it's also keeping you much more comfortable than some of your counterparts across the state. 95 in Rolling Fork, we're at 97 in Vicksburg. Temperatures are still sitting at 90 in Jackson and in Carthage, but again, some areas to our south are only in the mid 80s and the upper 80s. Now, these temperatures will continue to warm throughout the day. Our heat index is, again, the biggest story for areas, especially north and west of the Natchez Trace. So it feels like 108 right now in Yazoo City and in Vicksburg, 103 in Port Gibson, 101 in Jackson, and 100 degrees is what it feels like in Brookhaven. So that's why some folks are still under a heat advisory. I do expect air temperatures to make it to the low and mid 90s. If you are in Jackson and points west of 55, those will be our warmest spots this afternoon. But in our southern areas, so from the Pine Belt, from Laurel to Hattiesburg, Columbia, and Macomb, I think it's possible to stay in the 80s for much of the day. But our heat indices, again, will still make it to 105 and even up to 110 in some places. A little bit more bearable for our friends in our southern counties, but chances of rain are going to go up tomorrow. So today we're keeping them around 40%, 30 to 40% chance of those storms. Higher chances of rain in our southern counties. Again, I keep saying southern counties, but that is where you're going to get rain first because of that area of low pressure moving in from the Gulf. Now, 70% is what we're calling for tomorrow on your Friday, 50% Saturday, and this is gradually going to go down Sunday and into next work week as well. And as chances of rain go down, of course, temperatures are going to go back up for us. So let's time out this rain for you. The area of low pressure will stay to our south, and that's where the heaviest of rain will be. But some clusters of storms are still spreading in our direction through the afternoon and into the early evening hours as well. We're not expecting severe weather with this, but we still could see some localized flash flooding with saturated soil, and if you live in an area that is typically prone to flash flooding, something to watch out for. Now, I don't want that word flooding to scare you with, of course, all the current events that have been happening back to our west. This is a low risk for flash flooding. We're not expecting these thunderstorms to stay around for hours at a time and to drop heavy pockets of rainfall for everyone. Now, it is not out of the question, and that's why we're kind of trying to get that message across over the next 2 days. Notice it's not an all-day washout though. Friday morning we're going to see some breaks in the rain, but Friday afternoon some more stormy weather, and this is why Friday is going to be our best day to see scattered widespread storms across central and south Mississippi. And yes, some of those storms could put down some heavy rainfall at times. Saturday morning we could also be dry again, but those bands of rain and storms will continue to wrap around that very disorganized system and could spread and give us some better chances of rain still on Saturday. Into Sunday, I really think we'll start to dry out, but some isolated storms are still possible. Notice our latest update from the National Hurricane Center, still keeping this at a very low chance of development over the next 2 to 7 days, and this is good news for us. This system has really, okay, that's what I thought. I just missed that update. It is now a 10% chance of developing over the next 2 to 7 days. So this means it's really weak, and the chances of it becoming a tropical depression are very, very low. So at this point, it's just a rainmaker, and it's going to bring in some very warm, moist air to everyone across the deep south as well. And that's what we're seeing now as we speak, especially for our friends in Louisiana, where they're seeing some heavier rainfall, and they're used to it as well, but something to watch out for. Now, this is still Invest 93L. Again, it is too weak to get any type of name. It is still showing and tracking, though, that it's going to move directly westward through South Louisiana before it takes a little turn to the north, and that's still going to bring all that tropical moisture north, but again, it will continue to fall apart and weaken. Now, those outer bands of rain and storms, that is what we will see over the coming days into Friday, into Saturday, and even some into Sunday. So this is a look at the next 7 days, not just from this one system, but even through next week as well. We're talking about 1 inch on average, but some locally heavier amounts will be possible. But notice the heaviest rain, I'll go back here so you can see if I can. It looks like I can't, but closer to the coast is where we'll see around 3 to 4 inches, even some folks closer to 6 inches, but that is not us around central Mississippi. We are looking at a marginal 1 out of 4 risk for some flash flooding as well for Saturday, but Sunday that risk is out of the picture. So really not much to worry about here, but you want to keep the rain gear close by because it's going to be wet and stormy. Way to end off the work week. Today, a 30 to 40% chance of some scattered storms continue. Temperatures will be held down to the low 90s, but overnight we drop to the middle 70s. That warm, muggy air is going to stick with us. Notice the temperatures will be in the low 90s Friday and Saturday, and this is going to all thanks to the rain and the cloud cover keeping temperatures a bit more bearable for us, but the chances of rain are going down next week to 20%. That's the normal summertime pop-up showers in the afternoon, which means our temperatures are going back up to the middle 90s, and we'll likely have to see some more heat advisories issued and be extra cautious when it comes to being out in the heat for a long period of time. That heat illness risk will start to go back up by the middle part of next week, but until then, stay dry and stay calm as well. Nothing too big to worry about. Just let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. You can comment on our live or send them over to our email as well. But I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll talk to you